If I'm given more than that, if I'm given an arc of 3 scenes, then I look at what is important in my 3 scenes. If I hurt somebody's feelings in the first script, maybe I'm apologizing in some way in the second and third.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna, be die, right? Like
Yeah,
at what levels of, like if the end of the script I'm gonna be hunted down and, unalived, then what is the track of how much do I know, right?
Hi, I'm Alex DeLerma, and this is the Cinema Gym. If these videos are helping you and you want to see some more, please like, subscribe, comment. Let's keep this thing going. Toni Torres, so good to see you again. And you helped me come up with this topic, and I think it's a good one, mapping your performance. Can you just go down and explain, the different pieces that you map out and how you go about that when you have a role?
Well, when we talked about this, it sort of pieced itself together. So I haven't really thought about it from like a beginning to end sort of thing.
Do you map it out? Do you map out your emotional journey?
Yeah, for me, I know that it's not always how people do it. For me, it definitely comes from the emotion first. I read the script and I figure out, what do I care about the most?
Yeah.
Like what is gonna be the driving force, sort of like gravity, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's things like you won't get out of bed for, right? Like you don't have to go to work and then you'll sleep the whole day. And if you have plans with Fred or Sue or whatever, you'll skip it. But there's one thing or one person that will always get you out of bed. And I try to look for what is that in the script. This thing is nothing is going to move me off the mark of wanting this accomplished. For me, a lot of time it's just rebellion, right? Because I'm a very rebellious person. I think that like it's a very important thing to speak truth to power, to hold your power as a woman, to hold your power as a child, to hold your power as a person of color, even if it's silently. Just continuing to hold that space can really, I feel like, change an environment.
Yeah.
So like, even if it's just that, like if I'm giving a role that's too small for it to be written in for me, just holding the space as a powerful person that is serving the needs of the script can be enough for me. Yeah. If I'm given more than that, if I'm given an arc of 3 scenes, then I look at what is important in my 3 scenes. If I hurt somebody's feelings in the first script, maybe I'm apologizing in some way in the second and third.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna, be die, right? Like at what levels of, like if the end of the script I'm going to be hunted down and, unalived, then what is the track of how much do I know, right? In the beginning, I don't know. So I'm probably looking for friendship or love or to fit in or for an adventure.
Right.
And then when do I know? And then I think the saddest part about obviously not being alive is sad, but I think one of the hardest things for humans is the betrayal of it all, right? And so it's like I think we let ourselves down when we don't realize like it's not really the last thing that happens that's all that there is, right? There's a whole arc of how this is affecting me. Like there's a denial process of like, no, these have got to be my friends. They have to care about me. They must. All that I've done for them, all the all the laughs and life that we've shared, I've met their children or whatever, like this can't be happening, right? Like the stages of grief or whatnot. And then you start to get it. And I feel like then you start to like test, like, let me throw some feelers out and see if these people really don't have my back, Yeah. There's just always a way to like push off reality a little longer and make your character still be doing something, even though you know that you're not going to make it. You know what I mean? Right. And I think you can transfer that same thing over to a bank heist, right? It's like, I know I've got to rob the bank because I have to feed my child, right? Right. So I will always give my character a reason why they have to do it, because I just don't think, although some current things may challenge my beliefs, but I in my heart, I try not to believe that people would just hurt other people for fun. Yeah. So there's got to be some unbelievable reason why this person is doing this, right?
Yeah, and it's too easy of it's just not a strong choice, right?
It's not. And how are your emotions going to show up for that, you know? So I think like
I'm sorry to interject, but I think that's such a valuable thing to say. because on the page, someone might get something and they'll go, but it's just a terrible, evil person. Like,
no.
But listen, every baby is born.
Yeah.
And you got to go back.
Yeah.
And maybe it is a chemical imbalance or whatever.
Most chemical imbalances come from a trauma.
That
most of them do.
There's an argument for that. No question.
Yeah.
Environment versus, right?
Right.
You got to go back.
Yeah.
And you got to create that origin story.
Yeah.
And lots of times with a lot of writing, it doesn't really exist because the writing is not at that level. It's not.
But that doesn't matter because in life, you don't get an answer either. Mm-hmm. So I don't need the writer to tell me that that I as a human being have depth.
Yeah.
I don't need them to write that for me.
Right.
I know that. I know what I've been through.
Right.
I know what I stand for. I know that I have paid high prices for caring about other people, for standing up for myself, for needing things, for having value, for having confidence. If I can pay that high of a price for something like having confidence, there are a million consequences for life that I need to skirt in order to accomplish my daughter's life and her abundant life, right? So if I need to rob a bank, she's involved. In my head, she's involved, right? And now even if the scene is boring or I'm just flirting with some guy because it's a filler scene, I'm surveying the scene to find out like where is the exits and where are the fire hydrants and what are the who seems like a weak teller, and even if I'm never going to use it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not the guy who wants to be flirted with. Everybody wants to be ignored. The guy's not getting my attention. The fire hydrant's getting my attention, and he's going to have to be more attractive than that, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all about the bank heist.
Right. Yeah. Remember the old saying, not that everybody would say this or agree with it, but it's a common phrase, the true talent of the actor is in the choices. And I think that ties into what we're talking about beyond just, should I wear a leather jacket? Or, I feel sometimes actors stay too much on the surface with that phrase. And the choices go very deep, as you just brilliantly articulated, with getting into the minutia.
Yeah.
And really, really, really elevating the material and fleshing it out more. Because generally speaking, that happens more on the stage. Although in the last 10, 15 years, there's been a lot of amazing television, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's a renaissance.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
There's always room. There's always room to dig deeper on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love working with young talent. I love that. I love being, I think teaching is just part of my nature, or like.
Are you teaching?
No, I'm just kind of like a teacher by nature. I got you know what I mean?
And you're probably looked like somebody comes in your orbit.
Yeah.
They're going to be working with you.
Yeah.
And clearly, you have more experience. And
I got in trouble for teaching other kindergartners in kindergarten. Like, this is the way that God made me, maybe. Or maybe there was some early trauma. Who knows? Chicken or egg. I don't know. But I like being like, I like seeing what they are struggling with and silently solving it.
Yeah.
You don't really know what your friend needs from you until they're in need, right?
Yeah.
Like, how often are you giving advice and you are surprised by what's coming out of your mouth while it's coming out of your mouth? Like, we don't really find out how great we are until somebody gives us space to do it, right? So like somebody who doesn't have everything figured out, like, and the nurturing side of me sort of like envelops that for them. Like, you can't create better character work than just the magic of wanting to hold space for someone's growth.
That's a great way to say that. That's wonderful. I had shared with you on the phone that I haven't acted in a long, long time. Did this recently for a friend's favor, and had so much fun using your to map it out. Because my character was like angry. It's a thief and a killer, and so it was fun to look at that, and not there was anything wrong had I come and just sort of been one note. But that's what we're talking about with mapping it out. Well, there's different ways to convey volatility, You can simmer, you can steam, and then finding for myself, what are the physical actions that I could bring while still honoring the intention of the scene of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'd mentioned going so far as buying some of my own, a couple of props.
Yeah.
I brought. I just brought.
Yeah.
And I know I'm repeating myself for you, but it's
okay.
hopefully to inspire someone else. That there's a few times in the script where people are being manhandled.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the manhandling, and I feel like, well, this guy's doing it, and that guy's doing it, and I feel like I'm more of a knife guy.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's not all like that improv game where somebody's sitting, somebody's laying down, and somebody's standing. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, if they're going high, I guess I'll change the level a little.
And by showing up on set, I'm like, okay, I spent $9.95 or something like that on Amazon. Big deal if they would have said, no.
Yeah.
Don't use that, prop knife at his throat. Okay, now I got something for the collection.
Yeah.
Give it to one of my students. Mm-hmm. But they were like, oh yeah, no, that's cool. So take the risk. The talent is in the choices.
Yeah.
Take the time to map things out and be a nurturer.
Yeah.
If you're interested in classes, seminars, or private coaching, you can visit the website. Hope to see you in the gym soon.
TheCinemaGym.com for virtual one-on-one coaching for camera.